Here's how you can master literally any skill and become better than 95% of individuals at anything that you want to with 18 minutes. First, figure out where do you see your dream life in 2 to 3 years. The reason why I say this is not just for hoopla and all this other stuff, is because you need to figure out what direction do you need to go in. What messes up a lot of individuals is that they say, well, I don't know what I can learn, or I don't know what will be beneficial to me, or I don't know what I should master to make my life better. You first need to figure out, where do you see your dream life? What do you see yourself doing that will make you happy, that will make you fulfilled? And then chase after that thing. But the first step is figuring out actually where do you see yourself and what direction are you actually going in that will make you happy. So think of your life in 2 or 3 years, right? Be delusional about this thing, just to see what direction do you want your life to go in, to figure out, what do you necessarily need to do, learn, whatever. After you figure out, what will you be doing, and make sure you're doing something. Do not say paying off my debt. Do not say, living in a better neighborhood. Like, that's not really doing something. That's just a goal that you want to achieve. You want to figure out, what will you be doing, right? What will you be a master at doing consistently that'll make you happy? So once you figure out that, then you need to figure out the topic. So what topic are you trying to master now? Once you figured out your dream life, what will be necessary for you to learn to get there? So if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be a singer, well, you need to learn how to sing better. Oh my gosh, I want to be a content creator. Well, you need to learn how to make better content. Oh my gosh, I want to be whatever you want to be in life. Pick a topic for it. I want to start being into wellness, and I want to be a Pilates instructor, whatever the case may be. Pick the topic that will help you get to that dream life, and something that will be necessary for you to master. And sometimes I even recommend individuals to look at other individuals that are already doing what you want to do, and look at some of the things that they master and some of the things that they did well or do well. So you have your dream life, and you have the topic in which you want to master to get to that dream life. Now you need to figure out, what do you need to practice? So now, you figured out the topic, all this other stuff, but what is it that you literally need to do? What is it that you literally need to work on to get to that thing? What messes up a lot of individuals as well is because they just want to consume content, right? Videos like this are great for giving you direction, but all this video is a sense of direction. You need to figure out, what do you need to be doing that will actually get you into that phase? What are you going to be in action practicing, i.e. to get to that thing? So that's something that's very imperative for you too. What messes people up is they always want to consume content. People have 1,000,001 videos in their phone telling them how to do different workouts, but they will never work out, right? So instead of saving all these things and listening to all these podcasts and watching all these videos, figure out, what are you actually going to have to be practicing and doing in this 18-minute time period to actually achieve that thing and become a master at that thing. Now, I know if you got to this point, you're like, okay, but how do I become a master in 18 minutes? I'm going to teach you how. So essentially, it's 18 times 365. So it takes approximately 100 hours for you to essentially become 95% better than most individuals at doing something. So with that being said, you're going to have to do 18 minutes of focused practice at something, which means you're not on your phone, which means you're not watching TV, you don't have a podcast in the back. You're focusing on one thing for 18 minutes every single day for 7 days a week. And if you add that up times 365 days a year, whatever the case may be, you're going to get to approximately 100 hours. In 100 hours, that will make you better than 95% of people at most things. Now, what's getting some people, I know they may be like, oh my gosh, a year is a long time. Let me tell you another thing too. It doesn't have to be a year. It can be 6 months, right? If you were to do 18 times 2, which is what? 36. That can also get you somewhere. You get what I'm saying? 95% higher than most individuals. It's the time frame in which, well, it depends on how many minutes you do it, cuts up the time frame. Or for some individuals, maybe you're like, oh, I only want to do something 5 times a week. So that's approximately 25 minutes a day, right? For a year, if you want to do something only 5 times a week and not the complete 7. I say this to say the advantage of this is that it makes you a higher value individual than the most common individual. if you think about a McDonald's worker versus a lawyer. Why do lawyers make six figures and McDonald's workers make a lot less than six figures? Essentially, they usually make, you know, the standard of any town or state that they live in. Is because they're higher value individuals. What does that mean? It means they're rare. Essentially, they're rare. It's a lot of individuals that can work at McDonald's. Why? Because you know how fast it takes you to work at McDonald's? Not that long. Trust me, I worked at McDonald's in high school. It does not take that long to train you to work at McDonald's, but it takes a long period of time to become a lawyer. You have to pass a number of tests, so it makes you a higher value individual. Why? Because it's harder to do it. Why? Because it takes time. So the individuals who do that thing are paid more money, right? So that's why I bring it back to say the advantage is the time that it's going to take you. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, but that's going to take me 1 year. The great thing about it is that if you're willing to do this for 1 year, you're willing to stay down 18 minutes a day for 1 year of consistent focus on doing something, practicing something, you're going to be better than 95% of people. Not because you practice, well, yes, because you practice this thing, but what people also need to understand is it's because most people are not willing to do it. Most people are not going to do something for a year. Most people are not going to do 18 minutes of focus practice on something. So it makes it a lot easier for you to be a high value individual. It makes it a lot easier for you to be better than most people at doing something, for the simple fact that most people aren't willing to do that. So when it comes to a year, like I said, some people are like, oh, but that's going to take so long. Where was your life last year? Where was your life the year before? I say that to say, yes, a year can feel like a long time period, but I want you to think about how long it can take you to actually dismantle your life. It can take less than it. Think about how much havoc you can wreak on your life in a year. I think a lot of us know the detriment that some years have had on us. Just 1 year. Think about how horrible it was for you. Now think about if that year was the best year of your life. Think about if you mastered something in that year, how differently that year would have been for you. I say that to say it takes 18 minutes a day for 365 days, but it makes you more high value individual. So when you are doing anything, whether it's singing, whether it's acting, whether it's starting a business, whether it's working out, it makes you better than 95% of individuals, because 95% of individuals are not willing to do this. It's not some trick, oh, you know, you do this and you do that and all of a sudden you're better. The big chunk of this is, yes, you practicing, yes, you doing something, but the big chunk of this, and I tell you guys in a lot of my videos, most people aren't willing to do it. Most people aren't going to take this time period to do it. Even if you want to do it in 6 months, like I said, you could break it down into 36 minutes a day. However long you want to, you get what I'm saying, do it is based upon you. But I don't want people to feel a fear of like, oh, it's going to take so long. Because like I said, that's your advantage. Your advantage is how long it takes. Your advantage is even to do it past the 365-day mark. Think about if you did that for 2 years straight of consistent practice of doing something, how high value of an individual you would be at something. And I know some people are like, oh, I don't like comparing myself to other people and I don't like da-da-da. Well, America does. Whether you realize it or not, America compares you to people all the time, which is why some people make a lot of money and some people don't. And usually people who make the more money are people who are considered higher value. So if you want to become essentially a higher value individual in this society, you're going to have to do what 95% of people aren't willing to do. But now you have a trick that literally will only take you 18 minutes a day. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're comfortable enough, comment anything that you're going to be practicing for the next 365 days for 18 minutes a day.